everyone, welcome back to my channel, and for today's video I've got something really exciting for you guys. So many of you have really loved my Starbucks at home DIY drinks that I write about on my blog, so I thought it would be really awesome for me to bring that series to video. And for my first Starbucks DIY at home, I am going to show you guys how to make a green tea frappuccino. I love green tea drinks. I'm a big fan of green bubble tea, which I also make at home. And the Starbucks green tea frappuccino is like my favorite drink to get in the summer because everyone wants a frappuccino. It's nice and chilly and icy, but it's also delicious and creamy. And I really love green tea like as a flavor. Plus I think that green drinks are really cute because green's like one of my favorite colors. So if you're someone who likes green tea or bubble tea drinks, I'm sure you're gonna really enjoy this simple DIY. So stay tuned and I'm gonna show you guys how to make this. Okay, so I have all the ingredients sitting out here that I'm going to need in order to make my green tea frappuccino. I've got here a cup of milk. This is a cup of 1% milk because it's the milk I choose to use. You can use any sort of milk for this that you prefer. I've also got a cup of ice. I think there's like 6 ice cubes in here. I've got some imitation vanilla. I've got my NutriBullet that I'm going to use to actually blend it all together. And I've got a cup. I also have my green tea powder, and additionally I've got a teaspoon of sugar here as well. And this is 2 teaspoons of this mixed green tea powder. Now there's 2 ways that you can make a green tea frappuccino. You can use this sort of pre-mixed powder that has green tea like the matcha mixed with just some different like creamer and like a sweetener like sugars in here as well. So you can use one that's already pre-mixed. This is what I would use if I was making like my green bubble tea. And you can also use just a traditional matcha, and this is the brand, comes from Teavana. So this is actually the matcha that Starbucks uses because Teavana and Starbucks I think are owned by the same company now, like they're co-owned. So this is just pure green tea extract or green tea like leaves that have been all, you know, they're all chopped up like finely into a powder. This is what you'd make like traditional green tea with and a green tea frappuccino at Starbucks. But today I'm going to use my green tea powder. Now there is one side note that everything else, if you're going to make a green tea frappuccino with the matcha powder, everything in this recipe you can use this powder or like a pre-sweetened powder. However, because matcha in its pure state is incredibly bitter, you need to make sure that you use like 1 teaspoon of matcha, and then you're going to want 2 teaspoons of whatever sweetener that you want to use. So if you want to use stevia, if you want to use Splenda, if you want to use regular sugar, whatever you want, you have to use a 2-to-1 equivalent. So 2 teaspoons of your sweetener to 1 teaspoon of matcha. Now, because I'm using this green tea powder, I'm using 2 teaspoons of my green tea powder and 1 teaspoon of my sweetener, which I'm using sugar. Now, normally if I was making this with matcha, I probably would use my stevia for that, but because this powder already has standard sugar in it, I try not to mix my sweeteners in a drink because I think that it ends up creating like a funny taste in your drink. So I try to stick to like the same sorts of sweetener, so that's why I'm using actual sugar with this powdered green tea product. So all we have to do is just start assembling. So I've got my NutriBullet container here, and I'm going to put in my milk. I'm also going to go ahead and dump the powder and the sugar in there. And I also need to put a little bit of I use imitation vanilla extract. You could use regular vanilla extract. I'm just going to put half of a teaspoon in there. And the reason for this is because normally frappuccinos include a vanilla syrup, which would really be like vanilla mixed with a simple syrup. But I think that for the purposes of creating a frappuccino at home, you don't really need to go ahead and make that syrup. You could buy a vanilla syrup from Starbucks or at other places, but I'm not going to bother because all of this kind of ends up tasting the same anyway. And then of course I have my ice cubes on top. And I just go ahead and seal my cup, and then I'm putting this on the NutriBullet. And of course, don't worry guys, you're not going to hear this because I know it's really loud. Okay, you guys, so this is all mixed up, and I'm not sure if you're going to be able to tell in this lighting, but the drink is now kind of like a light green color. Because I use the powder, it's not as green as traditional matcha is. If you were to use the matcha, your drink would probably be really green right now, but because I use the powder, it's just a light green, like almost like a light minty green. So I'm just going to go ahead and pour that in my drink cup. Attach my lid, and voila. So thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to give this video a like and leave me a comment down below if you have any questions. Also, make sure to subscribe for more videos from me, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Till then, bye-bye. Now, the next product I'm going to show you is very, very similar to the Maybelline Color Elixir, and I actually think that the Color Elixir may be a dupe for this product.